Hey there, folks. Miss me? All right, probably not, but I'm back with another Out of Left Field to talk to you about men competing in, trans women competing in women's sports. Newsflash, bros, you're cheating. Hey everybody, thanks for coming back and joining me for another edition of Out of Left Field for MRC-TV. I'm Nick Kangadis. I really didn't want to talk about this again because I was pretty sure that my feelings on this topic were well known. But I figured since the topic of trans people in sports has popped up again recently, I'd give it one last go. Recent bills introduced in 8 states, Alabama, Arizona, Georgia, Missouri, New Hampshire, Tennessee, Washington, and West Virginia, have called for certain restrictions of trans athletes in official sporting competitions. But forget laws for a minute. This goes a lot deeper than that. You gotta take into account stamina, bone density, and natural physical strength, just to name a few, as well as the fact that trans athletes are on performance-enhancing drugs. Most trans advocates don't want to talk about the science of it, they just want to get their way.
It is ma'am!
Before I really get into this, if you get offended by this video or any other video I do, then I'm offended that you're offended, and not in a good way. This is just my opinion, and no amount of articles calling me a bigot or reaction videos with your opinion complaining about the things I've said or might say will change my mind. Let me just say this. Do you remember the old saying, cheaters never win? I guess my question is, why doesn't that apply to men who couldn't hack it in sports against superior men, so they decided to put on a sports bra and abuse women? Be offended. I don't care. Nothing actually happens to you. Supporters of trans women competing against real women, and yes, I do make the distinction that way, include House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler, because when I think athletics, I think Jerry Nadler. Anyway, Nadler argued the following in April of 2019, quote, "Arguments about transgender athletes participating in sports in accordance with their gender identity having competitive advantages have not been borne out. Sports have positive impacts on physical, social, and emotional well-being, and we should not be denying transgender athletes those opportunities simply because sometimes they may win. Nor should their occasional success be used as a roadblock to advancing civil rights legislation for LGBT people as a whole," unquote. Nadler might have an actual argument if their successes were occasional, as Nadler wanted to make it seem, but we've seen over and over and over that occasional isn't the word to describe the advantage these former dudes have over their actually female counterparts. Podcaster, stand-up comic, and martial arts expert Joe Rogan explained it very simply for those who just don't get it.
The arguments for it are so shitty and they're so riddled with progressive speak that they're trying to pretend that this is a woman now. This is not a woman. This is a trans woman. This is a male. She has a Y chromosome. She transitioned to being a female. Now she's a trans woman.
Was that offensive too? I know rational explanations trigger a lot of those on the far left who will identify someone by whatever they want, even if they think they're a dog. I don't know how else or how many more times I can say it. If you're a trans woman and you compete against real women, you're a cheater. The same far left people are always the ones in your face about how much they care about women's rights. They care nothing about anyone. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. They care nothing about anyone who doesn't think, walk, and talk exactly like they do. Now, ladies, real ladies, this practice of trans women competing in your division is not only a slap in the face to you, but also a slap in the face to the validity of sporting events. And trans people, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not saying anything against your existence. You want to live the way you want, I honestly don't care. But if you want to compete in athletics so bad, why don't you create your own division where you can compete against other trans people? Or maybe just accept the fact that you're not good enough to compete against your biological gender in sports. All right, I'm done. Sorry, and I'm not sorry actually, but let me know what you guys or girls think in the comments below. I do occasionally respond, so I'd love to hear what you think. If you like this video, don't forget to share it. That's the best way to let us know that you want us to keep these videos coming. This video will most likely be demonetized before we even publish it, but remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so YouTube might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.